Yo, what's rocking, everybody? This KYREN Monteiro. Welcome to the KYREN Monteiro Show, episode number 9, the Mother's Day special. And I got special guest with me, Miss Keneisha Townsend. What's going on?
What's up?
Owner of Uplyft U Boutique here, man, Indiana, super dope business. Matter of fact, give her a round of applause. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Matter of fact, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there.
Yes. So you've been killing it for a little bit, but I don't think sometimes people be knowing the faces and the stories behind certain brands. So jumping right into it, where did you grow up at? How did you get here to Marion, Indiana? How did you jump into business?
So I wouldn't say I grew up in one specific place. My dad was in the military. My mom was in the military. So we moved around a lot. So I think from what I can remember, since I was so young and I moved around a lot, the first place we were in was Missouri. We were there for a while. We lived in Louisiana for a little bit of time. We lived in North Carolina. At one point, I was living in Indianapolis when I was like in preschool, kindergarten range with my godparents. When I was in North Carolina, I was living with my great-grandparents and my great-aunt for a while. Eventually, my mom, she got out of the military, and that's why I was staying with other family members, because she was always moving around in the military, and she wanted stability for us. So eventually she got out. We settled down in North Carolina. We were there that was probably the longest place we lived at, was North Carolina. And we stayed there for a few years. She was working at, I believe, Walmart Distribution Center at the time. And she was just working her way up the ranks, got into some good management and supervisory positions. Eventually she transferred over to Dollar General, and she got a job transfer. So when she got a job transfer, I was like going into the 9th grade. So when I moved here, I was going into the 9th grade. And I was like, so where are we going? I was upset. I was mad because I had literally, like I said, North Carolina, it was the place we lived for a long time. So I made actual friends. I got to settle down and just build relationships with people, because we couldn't do that before because we were just all over the place. I mean, we could, but there weren't lasting relationships. So this was a place where I actually made friends, lasting relationships with people. And she was like, yeah, we're leaving. I got a job transfer. I was upset, and it showed in the way I acted when I moved up here. So we got here my freshman year, well, the summer before my freshman year. And I've been here ever since.
You sound like you ain't excited about that. What you mean?
No, I'm really not. I mean, Marion's home because my kids, their dad's here. Their dad's side of the family's here. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing. And honestly, that's not even holding us here. So we're just here. I'm in school, so focusing on getting school done is really the last thing that's really keeping us here right now. It's just trying to get school done.
That's what's up. We'll get into that. Let's get into you as a CEO and business owner. What made you decide to get into business? Because you've been doing this for a little while now.
So originally, well, a lot of people don't know, Uplyft was never supposed to be Uplyft. Like, when I originally came up with the idea, it was more so shoes, heels, things like that. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to stick with. I really wasn't wanting to get into clothes. I really just wanted to do shoes because I always thought it was hard to find shoes around here. And ultimately it changed in the clothes. I don't even know how. I was like, yeah, one day I woke up and I was like, yeah, let's add clothes to it. So I think I did my first clothes drop maybe, what was it? It had to be 2018 because I had my youngest. So it was probably about 2018 when I did my first clothes drop. It was more so like a dressy club wear. And when I did that, it wasn't really the vibe I wanted. Like, it wasn't my vibe. because I don't really do that dressy club wear unless it's a birthday or special occasion. So it wasn't really the vibe that I felt like fit me. So ultimately, I started changing the vibe and going into more comfortable wear, but cute stuff that you could wear multiple times, different places, to work, at home, going out with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. Like, that's how the other clothes got into it. But originally, like I said, it was only shoes. I really wasn't trying to do a boutique. And honestly, it started going from there, and I started getting more customers. I started getting loyal customers, there's people that's been with me since I began, like Tiffany Robinson, Ronika, Aaliyah. It's so many of them. Myra. It's like a lot of people. I don't want to say everybody's name because I don't want nobody to get mad for not getting a shout out. But it's so many people that's been there since the beginning, and it's really been like a blessing. And it's been a curse, but it's really just been a blessing because out of doing the boutique, I've made bonds with people that I never thought I would have. Like, I feel like I've grown a lot. I feel like I've come out my shell a little bit. Because I'm not a person, I don't let you in. I don't like letting people in. I don't like getting to know people, really. I'm like, you my friend. Everybody that knows me, I've had the same friend since high school. I haven't made no new friends since high school, really. So it was really good to kind of get to know more people in Marion and to start building those bonds with other people. So it's been a really, really good experience.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So for women out there, especially moms who are trying to raise kids and make some money, maybe on the side of full-time business, you see a lot of women in different places starting boutiques. So for somebody, and they don't even necessarily have to be in Marion, but anywhere watching this, what is that like to start a boutique? Like, what's the process? What's the ups and the downs of it? Like, just kind of talk about.
So, like, when I first started, I had a name in my head, Uplyft You. Well, it started with Uplyft Shoutique, and then once I incorporated clothes, I changed it to Uplyft You. And the reason behind the name, it was more so I wanted to provide clothing to women that was affordable. I wanted it to be good quality. I wanted it to be for everyone. And I wanted women to feel beautiful and confident about themselves. And that came about because of my lack of self-esteem and my lack of confidence back then. And I was like, okay, well, how can I build my confidence, also make other women feel good about themselves in the process? Because I've always known I was different. I've always known that I was meant to do greater things and not necessarily maybe running the boutique. But I always knew that my purpose was to be some kind of service to other women or younger women, the younger generations that are upcoming. So I always knew that was my purpose, but I didn't know how I could get there and how I could feel my purpose. And that's where the boutique started. So when you start the process, I always have a name. So like I went and registered a name. I didn't do an LLC up front. I registered a name so that it could be set aside so nobody could take that name while it's set aside. There's one person here that I actually reached out to and got some advice from, and it was Tara. Tara, what's her last name? Mays. So
Julius Mays' wife?
Yeah, yes, I actually reached out to her, and I was like, hey, I'm looking at getting into shoes. Can you help me, give me an idea where I should go from here? And she was actually one of the only people that responded and gave me some insight. And I appreciate that for her. I appreciate that a lot from her because she didn't have to do that, but she did anyway. So I did that. In order to get into some of the sites that she gave me, you do have to be like registered with the state, have a seller's permit. So I sat on the idea for about a year, and then I officially went and registered with the state, got my seller's permit and things like that. And then I got on the sites and I started just like looking up items that I liked and looking up stuff. Like my first shoe drop, I cried. I will tell you, it was the most horrible experience ever. Like some of the shoes are messed up. Like some of the boxes were missing shoes. Like it was just horrible. But I had great customers that was like, it's okay. I'm still buy it from you. I gave them discounts and stuff, but it was like my first shoe drop was horrible. So that's what deterred me from doing shoes and kind of helped me get more into clothes too, because that experience was horrible. So after I like started looking at stuff, I was buying things. You make sure you have money up front to buy things, because these are not places that are letting you like, hey, buy now, pay later. Like they don't do that. Like most places don't. So make sure you have money up front to like buy inventory. And I always say, have a variety, have a really good variety of items for everyone. Like a lot of places, not places, a lot of people start boutiques and they start with these items that are poor quality, or they start with items that, everybody already has. Like things that are popular. And from the beginning, I've always been like, I don't care what it costs. If it's good quality, I want it. Because that's always been what I wanted to do. I always wanted to offer good quality. Like, if I don't buy poor quality, I'm not finna sell, poor quality stuff. So I always tell people, be ready to invest in some good quality things. Like, you can't be cheap when you're in this game. Like, be ready to invest in some good quality stuff, because that's what's going to keep your customers coming back, knowing that you offer that good quality stuff. I say stand outside the box. Like, don't do what everybody else is doing. Go against the grain. I mean, I feel like when I first started the boutique, that I went against the grain, because there's a lot of stuff that I sell that a lot of people weren't selling around here. And there's a lot of style pieces that, like, there's a lot of fashion pieces that people weren't doing. Like, a lot of the boutiques didn't cater to, like, the urban market here, or the girls that wanted to be classy but still stay urban. Like, they weren't catering to a lot of that stuff. So a lot of those people. So when I started, that was what was in my mind. This is who I wanted to cater to, and this is what type of stuff I wanted to bring to people. So yeah, stay outside the box. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Just because you don't think somebody else is gonna like it, there's really people out there that's gonna like what you're doing. And I know that for a fact, because I would send Tiffany stuff. Tiffany's the person I bounce everything off of a lot of times, like, because she had a different style as well. And I was like, Tiffany, you think people like this? She's like, I like it. You like it. Like, they probably will. I mean, it's not against the norm. It's not the normal, but they'll like it. And so that's something I would do as well. Just kind of bounce ideas off of other people to kind of get an idea of what is going to sell and what's not going to sell. So that comes to the hardest part of the business, is being stuck with all this on-hand inventory. Like, I'm used to selling out a lot of stuff. I don't get large quantities of stuff because, again, we're in Marion and most of my customers are in Marion. So I don't want everybody walking around looking the same. I mean, and I don't want to say it like that, but like, because everybody buy the same shoe, like everybody buy the same Jordans. So, I mean, they don't have a problem walking around looking the same, but I just don't want to do that. I want to like sell stuff in lower quantities so that it's not saturated.
Yeah, and when people feel something is more exclusive, they want to jump on it quicker.
Exactly.
When you release it, because they don't want nobody else to get it. Sticking around customer service, I know in any business there's always going to be clients or customers that complain that the price is too high. I mean, I deal with it in the music and audio production all the time. It doesn't matter what you do. People complain. So you talk about having the highest quality in your industry and offering them like premium, like apparel and clothes and stuff like that. So if people know they're getting premium, why do you find that women are at times complaining about prices if they're getting the best of the best?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you can't afford it, that's maybe a reason they'll complain. If they can't afford it, I mean, there's other places within other people's budgets. So my thing is, if you can't afford it, I'm just gonna go somewhere else where I can afford what they're selling. Like, I think that comes into play.
Are those other places the same level of quality, or does that quality drop down?
It depends on where it is. Sometimes the quality drops, sometimes the same quality. When you're shopping at places that can buy things at larger quantities, they can lower the price. They can take that. They can lower things because they're getting a different price. But when you're smaller and you're not buying things in big quantities, you're going to pay a little bit more. I mean, sometimes it's just people just like to complain. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a type of person. Like, if something's out my price range, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to say nothing on Facebook. I'm not going to tell you need to lower your prices. I'm not going to do none of that. Okay. That's something I can't afford. On to the next person that I can't afford. So I never really get that. I never really understand why people complain about stuff they have control over. Like, you can go somewhere else.
I feel like if you value something, then your money should speak, right?
Right.
For a customer. If a customer values something, then they should be willing to pay it because they, it's value versus price.
Exactly.
We on this microphone. You announced on social media that you had a podcast coming. Don't look like that. You put it out there. So I'm going to ask. I got the right to ask about it because you threw it out there. Tell us about that, because what I know of you behind the scenes, you're not a super extrovert. Like you're more. I'm not gonna say super shy, but you're definitely not a extrovert like myself. So podcasting seems like the opposite of something you would want to do. What makes you want to do that?
So, like, I've actually been juggling around ways to, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I always knew that my purpose was to kind of do something that's uplifting women, younger generations, things like that. So by, I say 2017, I went through like probably one of the worst years of my life. I was pregnant. I was depressed. I was angry. Like, when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't want to keep my child because that's how upset I was. And I didn't feel like at that point in time I should be bringing a child into this world, because I went through a lot that year. So I believe that year marked a huge turning point in my life. It was just one of those things where I was like, okay, you have to make yourself happy. You can't let nobody else make you happy. You have to go out for what you want. You can't let nobody else do that for you. You can't let someone hold you back from your dreams. You can't let anything get in the way of the goals that you want to accomplish. And from that year on, after I had my daughter, it was just literally grind mode for me. I quit my job. I didn't even have a job lined up before I quit my job. I'd interviewed for the position that I have now, and I didn't hear anything back. And I already put my resignation in. I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, we're coming to New York, because that's where she was living at the time. I was like, I can't do it here anymore. It was mentally exhausting and draining, and emotionally and financially, it was just draining. So I was like, I can't do it. We're coming. And I think I literally started packing stuff, and we were getting ready to leave, and I got the call. It was like, hey, we're offering you the position for this job. And I was like, from there, I knew that was a sign from God, like, hey, you're not done here. You have stuff here that you need to do, that I want you to do, and it's time for you to do that. So I got the job. Actually, it covers me to go to school. So I'm actually getting my bachelor's degree in IT, and I'll walk out of that debt free. That's a plus. It's flexibility for myself and my family. So that's how, once I got into a good position where I felt like it was time for me to get my story out there and help other women who may go through things, or help at-risk teens who are going through things and don't feel like they have the support that they need. I feel like this is the time now for me to do that. Because I was one of those teens. I was angry at the world. And my mom was someone that worked all the time, so I didn't feel like I had that support from her. I love my mom to death, but she worked all the time, so it wasn't like I had her there every step of the way. Now the school guards like, Keneisha up here fighting. She cussing teachers out. Here she go. She was up at the school in 2.5 seconds. And she always had my back no matter what. But she just wasn't there all the time because she was working. So I felt like with all that molding me, now this is the time to do the podcast. So the podcast right now, it's named Authentic Self. And I think I'm really going to change the name because I felt there's something that's different, and I felt like there's something that's different out there that I like better. So it is Authentic Self, real topics, real conversations. Let's get into it is a slogan. It's really going to be about mental health awareness, talking about real life, real time topics, things that are going on in the world. Mainly things that affect women. Not to say we're not probably going to get on the topic of men, but mainly things that are affecting women. Things that are affecting our teens, like stuff like it's really like I feel like Marion is in the community needs healing. I feel like someone needs to offer that healing. And there's things that we don't talk about as a community that we should be talking about.
But I think what you're going to do is going to transcend Marion. You know, man, it's good to focus on Marion, but it's young ladies and women hurting everywhere.
Exactly.
And so just because they in New York or Atlanta or wherever, don't mean that they can't relate to you because you right here, man. So let's stay around these topics. For women who have been through different things, I'm gonna sit right here. I'm in progression. I'm gonna represent somebody that used to be a super bad player. Yeah, and I put my wife through a lot. We put y'all women through a lot. Y'all can put us through a lot too. So it's two way. But look,
we don't be out here in these streets like.
But listen.
We be loyal to a fault to you guys, and y'all really will stump on people and play with them like.
No, look, facts. So what I'm saying is, as somebody who I put my wife through a lot, and even in putting her through a lot, have broke a lot of hearts outside of that and play with emotions. So, and that leaves scars, and that's I carry around that weight. That ain't something I'm proud of. So, anyways, for women who have went through things, what is like some general advice you can give, like for women who heal, because you've had to do it. So from your experience, what can you tell women?
First of all, leave the people alone that broke you. Like stop going back to what broke you. Like for real. Like you can't heal by constantly going back to something that broke you unless they're healing with you. If they're not healing with you and they doing the same stuff, you finna keep going through the same cycle. So stop doing that. And I think once you stop going back to what broke you, cry it out. Like, cry it out. There was times that my kids would go to bed and I would literally just stand in the shower and cry. I would break down and cry. And it's just sometimes you have to let it out. I think women like me that are alphas and strong women, we don't like to cry. And it's kind of hard to say that because, women are the sensitive females. Like, they're the sensitive people on earth. The men are the ones that you expect not to cry. But sometimes it's just women, stronger women. They don't like to cry. They don't like to show emotion. They don't like to tell people that they've been hurt, they've been played with. Like, so cry it out. Like, I don't care how long you gotta cry about it, but cry it out and get up. Don't sit down. Don't let it hold you down forever. Cry and just get up and say, this is a new day and I'm gonna do this. Write down goals, write down dreams, write down all that stuff in a notebook. Like, I have notebooks laying around the house and I'll write down goals, things I want to accomplish in those notebooks. I picked one of those notebooks up the other day and I probably accomplished the whole page of that stuff. I hadn't went back and looked at it because I'm always so busy with other stuff, but I picked it up one day and I started marking stuff off that I've already accomplished. So, write down goals, get up and accomplish those. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something because you can. when you love yourself and you're confident in yourself and you take care of yourself, you're not going to let anybody not love you. So take time for yourself. Do what you have to do as a woman to take time for yourself. If you have kids, please take a break. Like, take a break. I can't preach enough how important it is for mothers to take a break. You cannot be a good mother and have no breaks. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot be a good parent and have no breaks. Like, kids drive you mentally insane. And I know my kids do. So kids drive you mentally insane. So when you're around these kids 24/7, 365 days a year with no breaks, that is literally driving yourself insane. And people, I feel like, and mothers need to take breaks. People get on mothers all the time. Oh, well, she in the club. She with this man. She with that man. She ain't got her kids. Her kids with her grandma. Like, mind your business. Let that woman have a break. Like, mind your business.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so we in a small city, and it seemed like people are so busy worried about other people's business. Now, some certain things, if it go crazy on social media, then it's kind of like over with. You don't really have a choice but to hear about it. But I feel like behind the scenes, there's a lot of what we would call hate and jealousy, and just a lot of people worried about other people's business instead of their own progression and moving forward. Like, and it's male and females. A lot of dudes say it's just females, but nah, it's a lot of these dudes out here act worse than females do.
They sure do.
So, like, with you being in kind of like a small city, but still having like the big goals, what when you wake up and you achieving, like, what mindset do you have to stay focused? Because it's easy to get sucked in a place like this. If you can get off track real easy.
So, like, my routine in the morning when I wake up, like, if I wake up knowing I'm about to have a bad day, I'll play some different types of music. I'll play, like, Andre Day, Rise Up, Alicia Keys, Girl on Fire, Cardi B, Get Up 10, Partisan, what is his new song? Hoop Earrings. Like, I'll play me some Yo Gotti. Like, I get up and I'll play some music that motivate me. Like, okay, get on your hustle, get on your grind, get up and get this day going. Like, I play music to just give me that boost and energy and give me hype in the mornings on those bad days. I found myself praying more because with my job, I am surrounded by a lot of Christians. So it's been a really great spiritual and growth journey for me with God. Praying more.
Hand clap to
I actually started this year. I started reading books again. There's a book that I've been reading. I haven't finished it yet, and I've had it so long. But once I started back school, it's just kind of like, okay, homework. Let me go to bed. But the book I've been reading right now is Master Your Emotions, and it's a really, really good book, and I recommend if you're going through some hard times, read that book. It's a really good book. I think about my kids that keep me going. When I graduated, the proudest moment was my daughter texting me during graduation. I walked across the stage and I sat down and I got my phone and she said, "Mom, you did that." Like, she told me that she was proud of me graduating. So that's one thing that keeps me going. My kids, just giving them a role model, because they don't have people in their lives that can show them that, hey, you can do this. You can do that. So I show them, hey, your mom, she works. She runs a business. She's in school full time. You can do that too, but don't overwork yourself. Don't stress yourself out. So that's another thing that keeps me going is my kids. I mean, my customers, they keep me going. They're sad right now. I'm sad with me closing the business right now, but they keep me going. Like, those are the things that keep me going. My family. My mom has always pushed me to do my do my best. And I screwed up in high school, but I'm not screwing up now. So we're going to keep going until I get this master's degree.
Well, you got to do what's best for yourself. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on. What can people find you on social, you and your business?
They can't find me on social media.
What about Uplyft?
They can find Uplyft on social media.
and what is the website and social media for your business?
Uplyft is on Instagram. It's Shop Uplyft U. I think it's an underscore. No, I don't think it's an underscore in the Instagram. Facebook is Uplyft U Boutique, and then the website is www.shopupliftu.com, and Uplyft is with a Y. Okay,
that's what's up. Is there any chance that you see yourself keeping your business open, or is it like a definite is closing?
So as of right now, it is closing. I'm leaving this week, and the decision behind that mainly is my schooling. When I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed and stuff is taken away from other things that I feel like are top priority for me, something has to go. And the boutique is something that I feel like right now I can put that to the side and focus on school, focus on getting the podcast up and going, my podcast merch. I will have merch for y'all.
Shameless plug.
So we're going to have all that. I'm focused on getting these topics and episodes ready for y'all. So the boutique had to come to a stop as of right now. And honestly, I don't know if it's something that's going to be in my future. I've played around with a few ideas even though I'm not going to be in the suite, just doing a few little mini drops for like locals only, not really shipping and dealing with all that hassle, but doing some small stuff for my locals and my loyal customers. A lot of them expressed interest that they would like it if I still did that. So right now it's really closing because I really have got to focus on school. I'm trying to graduate with honors. So I'm just like, I gotta focus on this schoolwork and get this done because, once I graduate, I'm trying to start making the big bucks with the IT people. So I'm just like, yeah, this is my focus right now, and getting this degree done. And eventually, once I work and get some skills going and understanding the IT field more, I want to teach that in schools. I want to teach those skills to students and teach them how they can go and get those certifications that you need for IT. Because honestly, a lot of times you can get into IT with just certifications and then get a degree. But a lot of people don't know that. So I want to, grow my knowledge in that and then teach that to our youth and show them different opportunities that they have.
For sure, man, because it's America. So it's a lot of money in different avenues if you remain disciplined. But I feel like that's a problem with society in general is people don't like disciplining themselves to like be committed and put in work. Everybody wants stuff super quick. Nobody want to like put time in and commit to a process that they gotta trust and develop.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like with school, I tell myself all the time, I'm ready to drop out. I'm ready to drop out. It's just too much. My friend's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm like, yes, I am.
You didn't come too far at this point.
Yes, I am. And, a lot of people, they don't want to commit to anything. And that's why life is hard for some people because you're not committing and you're not working at one thing. You're trying to do 10,000 different things, or you see somebody doing something so you want to do it, or you just trying to just jump around. Like, you got to settle down, commit to something, work hard at it, and then everything else will come with it.
Last question for real, and then we're going to get out of here. I've been asking all the guests so far. We live in Indiana. It's historically a small city known for manufacturing and kind of warehouse industries. But I feel like in the last 3 to 5 years, we've seen a wave of entrepreneurship and small businesses, innovation trying to take place. Like, what do you think needs to happen from the community of Marion to like push it forward? Because everybody don't want to own businesses, but I feel like in order for the community to be great, everybody got to be involved in their own lane putting their hands in making it great. So how can Marion be a better city moving forward?
I think one thing about Marion, I might get hate for this. I don't really care.
Oh well.
Popularity is a big thing in Marion. If you're not popular, people don't support you. Not to say that, because I have support, but I wouldn't say. I feel like it could be more.
No, I agree with that 100%.
I feel like Marion is a popularity contest, and if you're popular, they're gonna support you. If you're not popular, it's okay, go. We don't care about you. So I feel like in Marion, one thing, the support needs to be better because there are a lot of things. Like, you see people traveling out of town for stuff that a lot of people here do. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I travel out of town for my hair, and
but the people you travel to, are they from Marion?
They have roots in Marion. My hairstylist has roots in Marion, but I mean, that's one thing I'm just really picky about is my hair. So I just can't. I can't, let anybody play in my hair.
But we do need to stimulate the local economy more, though.
But I will support local hairstylists for like my girls and stuff. So I mean, so it's not like anything like that, but it's just got to be a lot more support. And even if it's not spending money with people, sharing a post goes such a long way. And I don't think people really understand that. Mm-hmm. Like, if you just share a post of somebody's, that goes a long way, whether it's to your story or on your actual page. Like, share a post. Like, so I feel like that's one of the major things that people don't do. They don't support one another, and there's a huge divide. Like, people feel like they only can support their friends, or they only can support a certain color, or, stuff like that. So I think those are two of the things, support and just division. People don't want to come together for anything. And not anything. Like, people do come together, but it's kind of sometimes hard to get people to come together without drama or some kind of issues or things like that. So I think people definitely need to come together more. Like, when they did that big block party for Black Lives Matter, like, that was the most togetherness I've seen in Marion in a long time. I don't know if that's the word or not, but
it is today.
It was the most togetherness I've seen. So I was just like, we need more of that. We need more of the uplifting each other and encouraging one another,
But it needs to come from a real place.
Yeah,
and it
definitely
needs to be consistent. It can't just happen in that moment and then it falls back. It got to be something that's like actively pursued.
Oh, definitely. I feel like it has to be consistent and it has to be genuine. And I'm one of those people that, like you said, I'm not an extrovert, but I'm very observant. So I can honestly tell when in the first two conversations with a person if they're genuine and if I want to have a conversation with them again. So, and that's just because I'm very observant and I feel people's energy. It's just like a lot of people don't really be genuine with you, and I can tell that. So you got to fall back from those type of people. But I wish people were more genuine and more supporting and would come together more.
Well, hopefully this episode inspires you to go home and jot down on your podcast. I appreciate you definitely for coming through. Your podcast is definitely needed. That's coming, and hopefully your boutique stays open, because I think your lane of what you do is needed as well. So if you're watching this and you feel like you can help out, it's hard to find help running a business. Reach out to Uplyft You Boutique, because that might keep it open.
So you trying to find me help?
Huh?
You trying to find me help?
I think we need as many entrepreneurs to stay alive around here as much as possible. It is when people are chasing their dreams, balance, there's no such thing as balance, but prioritizing the right way. When people are doing that, it inspires and it can be contagious. And a place like Marion, Indiana needs as much inspiration as possible. We need Jesus to come inspire this joint, because this joint has been lifeless for years.
I think Marion is a great place. Don't say it's been lifeless. I just think
what I'm saying,
people need other things to do.
Growth in Marion has been stagnant.
True.
So when I say lifeless, it's been on pause. It's like we pushed the pause button and ain't nobody hit play again until recently. And I feel like that song started playing again and it's starting to sound good again. But in order to keep the album going, we need more music being created. So create your music. Don't stop. So that's just my take. But we're gonna let y'all get out of here. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Any last words?
No, happy Mother's Day and enjoy your weekend.
All right, man. We out. Be blessed.